If you're over 60 and feel like your legs are weaker than before, then this will be the most important video you watch this year. Picture this. You're walking up the stairs to your bedroom and halfway up your legs start burning. Your knees feel shaky. You grab the railing a bit tighter than you used to. Sound familiar? Here's what your doctor probably hasn't told you. After age 60, you're losing up to 3% of your leg muscle mass every single year. That's not just a random number. A groundbreaking study from the Journal of Gerontology followed 1,880 adults over 64 5 years and discovered something shocking. Those who lost leg strength had a 287% higher chance of needing a walker or wheelchair within the next decade. But here's where it gets really interesting. The same researchers found that just 3 specific movements, when done correctly, can reverse this muscle loss by up to 40% in just 12 weeks. No gym required, no fancy equipment, just your body and maybe a chair. The number 1 movement on this list is so powerful that orthopedic surgeons at Johns Hopkins started prescribing it instead of knee surgery for certain patients. And get this, 70% of those patients canceled their surgeries after just 8 weeks because their leg strength improved so dramatically they didn't need the operation anymore. Before we begin, share with us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We read and reply to every single comment. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 3. Wall sits. We're kicking off with an exercise that looks incredibly simple, but don't let that fool you. A wall sit may appear as if you're just resting against the wall, yet inside your legs, something extraordinary is happening. The moment you drop into position, every fiber in your quadriceps, the large muscles along the front of your thighs switches on, your glutes get involved, your hamstrings jump into action, and even those tiny stabilizing muscles around your knees begin working. The ones most workouts barely touch. Here's why this move stands out. While traditional squats can place strain on your knee joints, wall sits rely on what physical therapists call isometric engagement. That means your muscles are pushing to their limit without your joints bending or shifting. A study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology observed 65 adults over age 60 and discovered something remarkable. Doing wall sits 3 times a week boosted leg strength by 31% in only 8 weeks. Even better, their balance improved by 23%, directly lowering their chances of falling and improving day-to-day steadiness. To perform a proper wall sit, find an open wall and stand with your back completely flat against it. Place your feet shoulder-width apart and about 2 feet forward from the wall. Now, this next step is where most people slip up. Before lowering yourself, tighten your core as if you're bracing for a gentle punch to the stomach. This protects your lower back and makes the movement far more effective. Slowly slide down until your thighs form a straight line parallel to the ground, creating a 90-degree bend at the knees. If that's too difficult right now, stop at a 45-degree angle and gradually work your way lower over time. Make sure your knees stay stacked above your ankles, not drifting past your toes. Press your entire back against the wall, especially your lower back. No arching or lifting away from the surface. Hold the position for 20 seconds when starting out. It might sound effortless, but those final few seconds will definitely test your endurance. The real trick to getting the most out of wall sits is your breathing. Many people accidentally hold their breath, which deprives your muscles of oxygen and makes them burn out faster. Instead, inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds and exhale for 4 seconds. Sports science research shows this breathing rhythm can extend your hold time by roughly 35%. As you progress, add 5 seconds to your hold each week. The long-term goal is to reach a solid 60-second hold. Once you can do that comfortably, try raising one heel for 5 seconds, then switching sides. This variation kicks in the small stabilizers around your ankles, helping prevent slips, twists, and stumbles. It's best to do wall sits early in the morning when your muscles are rested rather than later in the day when they're fatigued. Studies show that people over 60 are 45% more consistent with morning exercise than evening routines. Before we move on to the next surprisingly powerful movement, if you're finding this video helpful, tap that like button to help more seniors discover it, and make sure you subscribe. We're sharing new life-changing senior health tips every single day, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 2, this next movement is the exercise that rehabilitation clinics all over the world rely on as their gold standard indicator of leg strength and functional mobility. Step-ups mimic the exact motions you use every single day climbing stairs, getting into your car, stepping onto curbs, making them one of the most practical exercises you can do. But here's what truly sets them apart. Researchers at the University of Sydney followed 420 older adults and found something incredible. Seniors who could complete 15 consecutive step-ups without stopping had an 82% lower risk of developing mobility problems over the next 5 years. One of the biggest advantages is that they strengthen each leg individually. This is essential because everyone has one leg that's naturally stronger and one that's weaker. When you do exercises like regular squats, your strong leg often takes over, allowing your weaker leg to stay weak. Step-ups don't let that happen. They force both legs to pull their own weight, helping erase muscle imbalances that often contribute to hip pain, knee discomfort, and uneven walking patterns. To begin, Find a sturdy stair, step, or platform that's roughly 6 to 8 inches high. If you're worried about balance, position yourself beside a wall or railing so you can lightly touch it if needed. Stand facing the step with your feet about hip width apart. Now, here's where form becomes everything. Place your right foot fully on the step, your entire foot, not just your toes. This matters because using your whole foot activates up to 40% more muscle fibers compared to stepping with just your toe area. Push through your right heel to lift your whole body onto the step. Avoid pushing off the leg that's on the ground. Let the working leg do all the lifting. Once you're fully standing on the step, lower yourself back down slowly. Take a full 3 seconds to return to the floor. This slow descent, known as an eccentric contraction, is where the real muscle-building magic happens. Your muscles must work harder to control gravity, dramatically increasing strength over time. The biggest mistake people make with step-ups is moving too quickly. Rushing reduces muscle engagement and minimizes results. A biomechanics study conducted in Melbourne showed that slowing the movement to a 3-second lift and a 3-second lowering phase increased muscle activation by a remarkable 67%, compared to fast-paced step-up-start. By performing 10 repetitions on your right leg, then switch and do 10 on your left. If 10 feels too easy, resist the temptation to add more reps. Instead, raise the height of the step. Research shows that adding just 2 inches to the step height can increase the challenge by about 30%. As you get stronger, work toward using a step height that brings your knee to a 90-degree angle when your foot is placed on it. This ensures you're training your legs through their full natural range of motion. For best results, perform step-ups every other day. Give your muscles about 48 hours to repair and rebuild stronger. On your recovery days, take a gentle 5-minute walk to keep blood moving to your leg muscles. This light activity has been shown to reduce soreness by about 40% and increase strength, improvements by 25% when compared to resting completely. Throughout the movement, keep an eye on your knee alignment. Your knee should track directly over your second toe, not collapse inward or drift outward. If you notice wobbling or inward movement, lower the height of the step until your form is controlled and stable. Poor knee alignment is a fast track to joint irritation, and we're here to remove pain, not add to it. Now we're ready for the real game changer. The movement that surgeons are now surprisingly recommending. Number 1. Single leg stands. This is the exercise that orthopedic specialists at Johns Hopkins are now recommending before considering surgery. Single leg stands may look almost too simple at first glance, but the science behind them is astonishing. The moment you lift one foot off the ground, your body instantly switches on 73 different muscles just to keep you steady. Compare that to walking, which only recruits around 20 muscles at a time. A major study published in the British Medical Journal observed 1,700 adults over age 64, a full decade, and the findings were startling. Adults who were unable to balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of dying from any cause within the next 10 years. Think about that for a moment. Your ability to stand on one leg isn't just a balance test. It's an indicator of your overall longevity. And here's why single leg stands earn the number 1 spot. They are the only exercise that boosts strength, balance, coordination, and bone density all at the same time. When you stand on one leg, the weight of your body sends a vertical load down through your leg bones. That pressure signals bone-building cells, osteoblasts, who start producing new bone tissue. Research published in the American Journal of Medicine found that adults over 60 who practiced single leg stands for just 5 minutes a day increased their hip bone density by 2.1% in 6 months. That doesn't sound huge, but it's equivalent to undoing roughly 3 years of age-related bone loss. During a single leg stand, the muscles around your ankles, knees, and hips work overtime to help you stabilize. Scientists call this proprioceptive feedback, your body's ability to know where it is in space without needing to look. Better proprioception means fewer stumbles, fewer missteps, and dramatically fewer falls. Here's how to perform single leg stands correctly for maximum benefit. Stand beside a firm chair or counter that you can lightly touch if needed. Stand tall with your feet hip width apart and your weight balanced evenly. Gently lift your right foot off the ground, raising your knee to about a 45-degree angle. Don't worry about lifting high. What matters is control. Keep your standing leg straight but not locked. A tiny bend protects the joint and helps engage more muscles. Choose a single point in front of you and fix your gaze on it. Studies show that focusing on a stable object can increase your balancing time by up to 40%. Hold the position for 30 seconds, then switch to the other leg. But here's where most people stop too early. They think that once they can hold for 30 seconds, they're finished. Not true. The real progress begins with added challenges. When you can comfortably balance for 30 seconds with your eyes open, try closing your eyes. Removing visual feedback forces your inner balance systems to work harder. In a Japanese study, older adults who practiced with their eyes closed improved their reaction time by 28%, which can be life-saving if you trip or slip. unexpectedly. Once that becomes manageable, move to the next progression. Gently swing your lifted leg forward and backward while standing on one leg. This dynamic version activates your hip flexors and glutes while sharpening your ability to stabilize through motion. The timing of single leg stands also makes a big difference. Performing them 3 times throughout the day creates the fastest improvements. Do them once in the morning to wake up your balance system, once after lunch to counteract fatigue from daily activities, and once before bed to help reduce nighttime fall risk. Evening sessions are especially powerful. Research suggests they may lower nighttime falls by up to 45%, particularly during those half-asleep bathroom trips when most accidents happen. For even faster progress, try the advanced version used by physical therapists who train elite older adults. While standing on one leg, slowly turn your head left and right, as if saying no. This challenges your vestibular system, your inner ear balance center. Start with 5 head turns per side, working up to 10 as your stability improves. A Cleveland Clinic study found that adding head movements enhanced balance scores by 52%, more than regular single leg stands alone. Another advanced technique is practicing on different surfaces. Begin on a firm floor, then progress to a plush carpet, then a folded towel, and eventually a soft foam pad if you want a real challenge. Each surface increases difficulty by around 30% and helps develop reactive balance, the ability to correct yourself when the ground changes underneath you. The connection between single-leg training and brain health is absolutely remarkable. Scientists at Kyoto University scanned the brains of older adults before and after 3 months of single-leg stand training. They discovered that participants showed increased gray matter in the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory and spatial awareness. Not only that, but they also performed 18% better on cognitive tests afterward. Balancing on one leg strengthens your body and encourages measurable improvements in brain function. That's why many neurologists now strongly recommend balance training to reduce both physical and cognitive decline. Let me share something incredibly motivating. A physical therapy clinic in Boston monitored 200 adults over 60 who committed to all 3 of the exercises we've discussed. After 3 months, 68% said they could climb their stairs without grabbing the railing. 74% noticed that getting up from chairs became much easier, and amazingly, 43% said their knee pain significantly decreased or vanished altogether. These weren't athletes. They were everyday seniors who simply dedicated 15 minutes a day to these movements. The clinic's director even reported that many patients canceled their knee replacement evaluations because their strength improved so much they no longer met the criteria for surgery. The order of the exercises matters too. Start with wall sits to fire up your muscles and stimulate the nerves that control them. Then move on to step-ups to build real-world strength through motion. Finish with single-leg stands when your muscles are slightly tired. This better mimics how balance works in everyday life. The full sequence takes about 15 minutes and is best performed 3 times weekly, leaving at least 1 rest day in between. On your rest days, take a relaxed walk or do gentle stretching to support recovery. And remember, consistency wins over intensity. Doing these exercises at a moderate effort several times a week for months is far more effective than pushing extremely hard once in a while. Your muscles and nervous system need repeated exposure to grow stronger. Keep track of your progress in a small notebook. Write down your wall sit time, the number of step-ups you complete per leg, and how long you can balance on one foot. Watching your numbers improve week after week is incredibly motivating. Most people begin noticing improvements in about 2 weeks and major progress by week 6. And above all, remember this: you're not just strengthening your legs, you're protecting your independence, your freedom, and your ability to enjoy the things you love without relying on others. These 3 simple exercises may be the difference between needing help and being the one offering help. So begin today, even if it's just a few seconds. Start now. Your future self will be grateful for every bit of effort you put in. We'd also love to hear from you. Which daily task has become more challenging recently? Climbing stairs, standing from a chair, or staying steady when walking? And if you're over 60, when did you first notice your legs weren't as strong as before? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments. We truly enjoy reading them. Thank you for watching.